Chapter 6. You can't over-prepare. You can't simply up and go to Southeast Asia, especially into the malaria zone. Oh no, you need shots, malaria pills, a passport, and a whole drugstore of just-in-case medicine. Luckily, over the years, my forward-thinking parents had instructed our family physician to give me every vaccination on the market. Never know what you can pick up these days on the streets of Seattle, or in homeroom, said Mom. And all three of us had passports. In case we should ever need to leave the country at a moment's notice, said Dad. Not that we'd ever use them. So the fact I only had 13 days to prepare turned out to be less the logistical nightmare it should have been. However, since I was leaving the weekend after school let out, I had no time to research Malaysia, Cambodia, and Laos. No time to plan. This made me itchy. But I figured Grandma Gert had some sort of itinerary for the summer, and I'd just have to catch up on my research on the plane. After all, I had 20-some hours in the sky to read all my guidebooks and reference materials. In the 13 days before my departure, my moods fluctuated. One minute my heart thumped in anticipation of the exotic adventure before me, and the next minute I was slammed with a wave of intense homesickness, though I hadn't so much as set one foot on the plane. And then there were the conversations between Mom and Dad that came to a halt the second I entered the room, and the way they still couldn't quite look me in the eye. Mom wasn't writing in her Journal of Excellence. Her garden was left to fend for itself. Even her best friend, Lilith, couldn't snap her out of it with long, gossipy phone chats, brunches on the waterfront, or her all-time favorite warm weather perk, Puccini in the park. It was as if she was in limbo, waiting for something. Something not good. Her normally optimistic outlook on life was replaced with shadowy uncertainty. She sighed. A lot. Dad worked, ran, and proved his book. Although he kept up his routines, he was on autopilot, enveloped in a mental fog. At dinner time, he couldn't seem to finish his meals. He actually left half of his favorite entree, broiled salmon with mango chutney and okra, on the plate. But Laurel, Denise, and Amber were enjoying themselves immensely. They strode down the school hallways, three abreast, with mysterious looks on their faces as if they were all part of a conspiracy. Which I guess they were, and would break into laughter for no reason. When Wendy Stupacker passed by, they'd whisper under their breaths, "Checkmate, Stupacker." Amber, "De inimico non loquaris sed cogites." Don't wish ill for your enemy, plan it. Denise. Laurel was too ladylike to utter threats. Instead, she'd narrow her eyes and purse her lips in an attempt to look menacing, and succeed only in looking constipated. They planned out their summer. AP classes, college seminars, and daily meetings at a local coffee shop to work on homework, email me, and edit my manuscript pages. I realized I'd give anything to switch places with them. Not that I'd ever admit it. They were counting on me. Postcard labels? Check. PTP? Check. Ticket, passport, ATM card, extra cash? Check, 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 and check. Laptop with accoutrement? Check. The Traveler's Friend brand travel accessories in their entirety? Check. All 3 Genteel Traveler's Guides and 3 Savvy Sojourner's Guidebooks? Check. Water purifier? Nice try, Dad. You know very well that's covered under the subcategory of Traveler's Friend brand travel accessories. 153 items. Looks like you've thought of everything, said Dad, handing me the itemized packing list and pink highlighter. Nunquam non paratus. Never unprepared. He gave me a wan smile. I'll go put on a back brace so I can load up the cars. Then he headed up the stairs. With a grunt, I snapped the last of the locks on my 10 pieces of black luggage, which filled the entire living room. The reason we had to take both Volvos. I carefully tucked the key into the flesh-colored money belt hiding under my Traveler's Friend linen blouse and zipped it shut. Denise, Laurel, and Amber all watched solemnly, sandwiched between my suitcases. This was a portentous occasion. The farthest Laurel and her mom had traveled was to the Grand Canyon. Amber's family skied Vail in the winter and jet skied Newport Beach in summer. Denise's family had been as far north as Banff and as far south as Cancun. And no spore had ever left the state. Until now. Papa. I checked my PTP, portable travel planner, as a going-away gift from my parents. A matchbox-sized day planner, organizer, watch, mini-computer, cell phone, compass, atlas, encyclopedia, all in one, conveniently located where my watch would be. My PTP has just informed me that I have 4 hours before my plane takes off, so we'll be departing for the airport in exactly 30 minutes. What song was that? Sounded like our school's marching band, said Amber, unwrapping some red vines. Jean-Philippe Sousa. Dad programmed it. Laurel daintily blew her nose, then tucked the Kleenex into her periwinkle skirt pocket. Vassar, you won't forget my spoons, will you? She'd given me $100 to buy a silver-plated sugar spoon from each city I visited. It was a habit she had picked up from her grandma, who happened to be one of the more traditional variety. I want to add to my collection. Collection, in her case, meaning two, the Grand Canyon and Yosemite. Well, it's on my to-do list, and if it's on my to-do list, it's as good as done, said Amber, Laurel, and Denise together. Laurel handed me a bundle of little white envelopes. Open one a day for a quote that should in some way pertain to your trip. They're in Latin, said Amber. To keep you mentally supple, said Denise. I opened the first envelope labeled Day of Embarkation and read, Da mihi sis crustum etruscum cum omnibus in eo. Amber and Laurel laughed uproariously. I don't get it. Substitute pizza for crustum and you'll die laughing, said Denise dryly. I'll have a pizza with everything on it. Ah, yes, that'll sure come in handy in the jungle. I read another one. Are you in omnia paratus? I smiled. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am ready for anything. I gestured at my mountain of luggage. Everything I could possibly need is in here, even a collapsible plastic shower. Dad walked by, wearing his black back brace. Ladies, you have 6 minutes 40 seconds to say goodbye to Vassar. He headed outside. I heard the beeps of the Volvo alarms. Denise got down to business. So, the plan is that you'll email us each a chapter via hookup or internet cafe. Apparently there are tons of them all over Southeast Asia, especially in places where the backpackers loiter. We'll proofread them and let you know if something isn't clear. By the end of the summer, you should have a completed first draft ready to turn in. That'll give you 2 weeks to edit before turning it into Principal Ledbetter, said Amber. Good old Principal Ledbetter. After much persuasion, she'd agreed to let me write the novel for AP/AAP English credit, but with one stipulation. It must be turned in on the first day of school to count. Is that clear, Vassar? There will be no extensions or exceptions. It would be a tight squeeze, but well worth it. I sniffed. I'd succumbed to emotion more times in the last 2 weeks than the rest of my life combined. You guys... Vassar, you do the same thing for us, Laurel said, blowing her nose again. By now, her skirt pockets were bulging with used tissues. And don't waste time emailing us personal messages or travel details, said Denise. Or buying us souvenirs, said Amber. Except for my spoons, said Laurel. Spend your energy writing those chapters, said Denise. Then Amber pulled a small box out of her backpack. It's from all of us. Bon voyage. Buona fortuna, said Laurel. Good luck. I sure needed that. I opened it. A necklace with an inscribed silver medallion. Nulla dies sine linea. Not a day without a line, translated Denise. A simple yet constant reminder of what you're there for. It's real silver, said Laurel. Oh, you guys! I snatched one of Laurel's Kleenex. Watch out, you'll tarnish it, said Amber. If John Pepper asks about you, we'll give him your email address, said Laurel. But only if he asks, I said firmly. But only if he asks, I said firmly. Amber nodded. Yep, hard to get. That's the way to play it. Denise rolled her eyes. Such wisdom, O experienced one. Time's up, ladies, Dad called. We visibly deflated. I hung the necklace around my neck and hugged Laurel, Amber, and Denise goodbye. Oh, wait, can you give this to your mom? Amber shoved a wrinkled piece of paper into my hand. My summer goal list. I was supposed to turn it in the last hour of reflection, but... Why is it so sticky? I distastefully held it by a corner. She licked her fingers. Honey mustard dressing? Then, as the three of them walked out the door, Denise added, By the way, I've been pondering those words you overheard. You should focus on cracking the term egg. No pun intended. My sixth sense tells me it's the key to the whole thing. Perhaps it concerns a poultry-related tragedy. Diseased hens laying tainted eggs, from hen to egg to dying. See the trajectory? Thanks, Denise. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Then they were out the door. I polished my medallion. I missed them already.